Hello and welcome to the Wiltshire Caravan's handover video for the Elddis Affinity 574. I'll take you around the outside of the van first to show you how everything works on the outside. I will go round to the back to start with. It's as good a place as any. At the back here, as you can see, you've got your two rear light clusters. They are for your indicators, your running lights, reverse lights and your brake light. You also have a highline brake light at the top. Also at the back here, you've got the corner steadies. See, each corner, and we'll show you how to operate that later on in this video. Going round clockwise, we get to the waste pipe. These are for what we call the grey waste, so that is the waste from your sink in the kitchen, sink in the bathroom and the shower. Next you see we've got the toilet cassette locker. You see quite a lot of caravans do have the pink fluid receptacle here. We don't have this on here. The flush water comes directly from the water supply. Okay, so opening this up for you. A quarter turn. We'll open that up. And there is the cassette, which is removed by lifting the handle and then pulling this straight down. The system does have a handle, so you can take this out to the chemical point where you empty all the waste. Now, to empty the waste, undo the cap, put it securely to one side. You don't want that falling into the chemical waste. This then lifts, and this button here is the airlock removal, and that will help everything flow out. Okay. Now when cleaning out, rinsing out, this slides back. Put that again to one side. This then opens, so you can then rinse that out. There is a small float in there, which is designed to show when it's full, it brings a light on in on the toilet itself, which we'll show you later on in the video. Then that needs to go back into that position. Then put some in the cap. You put an amount of blue fluid, depending on which blue fluid you're using. That goes in the cap. Then back onto there. Like such. Do it up. Push it in, and then that goes back into there, into the locker, like so, and seals in there. That then closes up and locks. Okay, that's the toilet itself. There's your alloy wheels. These are torqued to 130 Newton meters, which is recommended every time you tow. That should be down. Your wheel nuts should be torqued up to, like I say, 130 Newton meters. This particular model has got a Power Touch Evolution manual engaged motor mover. I'll show you how that all works a bit later on. Okay, so moving further along, you have the battery locker, okay, where your mains power goes in. Whilst I'm here with the keys, let me just show you the keys. You've got two main keys. You have a solid key, you also have a flip key and a remote on there to set the alarm. Whilst we're here, I will set the alarm. So pressing that button, the top button, right, that one beep means that the alarm is now fully set. Press again to take the alarm off. Two beeps means that the alarm is now off. There is also on it a panic alarm button underneath the main button. You'll probably find that one day you will be have the keys in your pocket and the alarm will go off, that's probably because you've pressed that by accident. I've done that myself a number of occasions. Right, the battery locker itself. And here, this is where you put your electric lead in. This is the isolator for the motor mover, and there's the key for the motor mover. Again, I'll show you that all a bit later on. And this is where the battery goes. Okay. Just a helpful word of advice, always keep this locker closed and locked. Okay, right, next part, we've got the whale water pump. Now, the water pump, I'll just show you how it connects in. Lift the receptacle there, and that just comes out. Okay, to put this in, not so easy one-handed. This lifts in, and then that just clicks down to connect in. The pump itself goes into your aqua roll, straight down, and this just keeps any debris out of your water system. Okay, so now we move along to the Alde heating exhaust or vent. This in older models sometimes they used to get covered up. There's no need to do that at any time of year now with these. Also got corner steadies underneath, and you can just see the nut in there, or bolt. I'm not sure if it's a nut or a bolt, but that's to turn the corner steadies. Okay, now moving to the front, to the gas locker. Okay, we've got 2 locks on the gas locker. I have already unlocked them, so for ease of use. Inside, you'll see you've got room for 2 gas bottles and 1 pigtail. This one's actually set up for propane. We can set them up for butane, but generally it's propane that we recommend. Quite a large locker. Can store a fair amount in. It's, as you can see, there's some holes in the bottom because it's a gas locker. That's the air ventilation. In here you'll see that you've got your leg winder and a wheel brace. You also have in here your new electric cable ready to go. Okay. Right. On these models, on the Affinity, you have got a light gas locker light, so you can change the gas at night time or go and see if there's anything you need to find in there at night without being too worried about it. Obviously we've got a handbrake. It's the Alco chassis and hitch on here. This has got the Alco ATC, which is the Alco trailer control, which means it's got a sensor underneath the caravan, so if it does start to move or snake a little bit, it will put the brakes on automatically. Now obviously that's a very good safety feature. You might notice sometimes if you are travelling over, say, a speed bump, you might feel the caravan get quite heavy on the back. That's just the ATC working. It will soon release itself. Okay, going around to the near side, first thing we can see is the do not use gas barbecue in an awning. Basically it's got an outside gas supply, so you can set up something like a Cadak or another type of gas barbecue without any problems. Like it says, don't use it in a barbecue. Flame and fabric never go well particularly together. Okay, moving further along, when I can get back into focus. Here we have the external storage locker, or one of the external storage lockers. A half turn opens. In here you've got obviously some storage. You've got the external 230 volt socket and an external antenna, so you can run a cable for your TV in the air into the an awning should you wish to do so. Okay, moving further along, Obviously you've got the door, you've got two vents here. These are for the fridge and the freezer. The other vent is on the other side, on the off side, and that's for the microwave, which is located on the other side. One more thing to show you out here is the external locker, and this is storage underneath one of the beds. So these are quarter lock, or quarter turn I should say. Just some extra storage underneath the bed. Okay, just to show you on the other side, the alloy wheels again, you will see a yellow receptor. That if you purchase an Alco wheel lock, that goes into there to secure the wheels. This does come with a wheel pack normally as a starter pack, if you have ordered the starter pack. Okay, we're going to head on inside to the van and show you how to use the features inside the 574. Okay, so step on up. Always be careful with your feet. Right, first thing on the left hand side, that's where we've got the display. Okay, your power button, power on. Okay, so this brings, that's the master switch in this caravan, so that brings the power on. You've got two light switches here, which is for the external gas locker light and the awning light. The awning light's LED and is very bright in the dark. Next is the main light switch. Okay, so that now with the main lights on, you can see you have your mood lighting, you have your lighting at around the sunroof, all the way around. Okay, you do have other light switches for individual parts, and you will find that all of the lights like this, the individual lights, have individual switches on them. Okay. Back to the controls. You've got showing your voltmeter here, so when you're not plugged into the mains, you check there to see how your leisure battery is operating, how much charge there is in there. Okay. Right, next to the master switch is the water pump. I showed you where the whale water pump goes in the side. To run the water, you press that down to activate, and the light will come on. Okay, don't need that on at the moment. Okay, right. Very importantly, the heating system. This is the Aldi heating system. It's a wet central heating, and the power on, to bring the power on. Wet central heating means it basically works like your radiators do at home. An excellent system. At the moment, this is showing that we are plugged into the mains. That's the current temperature inside the caravan. I know that, and it does feel that cold at the moment. That's because the heating's not been on. But to set everything, we need to go into the menu. So press menu. Okay, now with this, to set the temperature, the top one is the temperature that you want to set the van to be, your caravan to be. It's a touch screen, so simply minus or plus to get it to the temperature you desire in here. There is an option of a nighttime setting. I'll show you that here by going into the settings icon. Click on that. The moon, or the half moon, is the nighttime settings. Currently it's off. You can set the temperature and the time to go on and off, and then you will just press the off button. It comes on, so you now have a night mode set. we can see on the front page we now have an A. That is what we call an activated function. So you can see which function is activated. The night setting's on at the moment. For example, if we didn't want that on, we just press the green button and it goes off. That now is no longer active. Okay, so that's setting the temperature within the caravan. The next one down, the shower sign, that's to do with your water heating. Now, if this triangle is completely empty, there is no heating to the water at this point. So all your water will be cold. So to set, you've only got 3 settings. So off is here, then you've got half setting. Now that will give you enough water, hot water, to do all your washing up, to have washes in the morning. If there's only a couple of you, you may even be able to get showers out of it. It's very efficient. The water does heat up rapidly and very well. If you wanted to boost to the water temperature, press plus even, and that triangle is then solid, and that is working at maximum power. However, you will probably only need 90% of the time it to be on halfway. Okay. The next sign is how much electricity, how much power we are using for just the heating and the hot water system. We have the options of off, obviously, so you wouldn't have any. 1 kilowatt. So if you're on, some people, well, if you go to France, sometimes there's not a great deal of electricity available. You would try to do things at 1 kilowatt. It works, but slowly. Okay. On a UK site, 2 kilowatts is pretty much going to be available everywhere, and that will work absolutely fine, no problems at all. You can boost it to a maximum of 3 kilowatts. However, if you at that point you then turn on the microwave and a kettle, you might well trip the system, so by trying to use too much electricity. So my personal recommendation is to go on to 2 kilowatts. That's more than enough. If you go to off grid, so to speak, if you just go out into fields, whatever, where there's no electricity available, you can run the heating system on gas. Clicking on gas, that sets up to work on gas. Back in the settings, there are an awful lot of settings you can go through, which is why we supply a menu, a manual, I should say, so you can go through that at your leisure. Okay. Okay. Continue on the theme of the water. You saw where we put the whale pump into the side. Okay, underneath the right hand sofa, the locker under there, we can see a switch here, well, a valve that is currently in the horizontal position, which is allowing water into the system, into the water heater, and into obviously your taps, etc. When you're going to winterize the vehicle, or if you're not going to be using it, or even just for traveling, if you lift this yellow valve into the vertical position, any water that was in the water pump is now draining directly onto the floor. Okay. Also under here we've got a gas isolator. If you're using propane, you can just turn everything off at the bottle. But if you want to open and close for your gas systems, water system here, that's the one to use. A little bit further along, you've also got your fuse box, standard breaker switches, and fuses as required. So if anything does go off, if you overload the power, that's where your breakers are. Okay. Okay, back to internal gubbins. On your left hand side, you've got a radio, and it's iPhone compatible. It's got an auxiliary socket, also a USB socket if you want to play MP3s. However, this is an FM radio. Okay, there's the signal booster that works on the antenna for the TV and the radio. You can switch it off if you don't, at any time. Why you would want to, I don't know. Maybe when you're storing, you can switch it off, but just do remember to put it back on. This is your antenna for your TV and radio. If you're traveling around to different sites, the first thing to notice if you want to have a TV on is to notice where everyone's aerial is, which way it's facing, and point it in the same direction. All this undoes, you can then lift the antenna and twist it into position wherever anyone else is. You then lock it up by doing up that. If you have been advised that you need to change the pitch on your antenna, this twists to make it flat like so, or flat like so. Okay? Always remember to take the antenna down when you're traveling. Okay, now all of these blinds, well, for the window catches, they're all standard window catches as such. And the blinds, you have blackout blinds, and you also have, after that, if you want to bring them down, fly screens, so you can have the windows open at night to avoid any flies or insects coming into your van. All of the windows have the same system, except the front window, this one here, only has blackout blinds because you can't open it anyway. Okay. Okay. Moving around to the kitchen area, you've got various light switches here. You have the main kitchen light. You also have lights, put them on individually. The light on the left hand side actually lights up the entrance, so which is nice, and the light switch in the middle lights up a bit of mood lighting underneath your worktop. Okay, mixer tap, hot and cold. Let's see, sink, large sinks in these, I must be honest, they're very nice. Kitchen cabinets, there, already fitted up to have a bottle or glasses, whatever. I usually put a bottle in there. And you also see a switch up there. That electric switch is for the microwave oven, which is next to it. Microwave oven, standard microwave oven. Again, you'll get a user manual to see how all these work. Sorry, you just saw a picture of me. It is cold and I have got a hat on, so I do apologise. I'll try to keep my visage out of these videos. Right, the cooker. On top, you've got an electric hob and 3 gas burners. Obviously, if you're on a site with electricity, use the electric one, because otherwise, you're using your gas. However, you have that option. The grill and the oven are both gas. Okay. The grill pan will also double up as another tray in the oven if you require it to do so. Underneath the oven, we have the gas isolator tap for the cooker, and you also have an electric plug socket, and that you can take that out, and that's the plug for the electric hob. Okay, plenty of storage. Every tray, a few drawers, lots and lots of storage. Quite a nice size cupboard in here. You've also got your standalone table in there for you set it, either internally or externally. On the other side, the fridge. Okay. Now, it's a Dometic fridge. Again, we have a manual for it. To power on the fridge, press the power button. Keep it pressed for a little bit. And then it comes on, and the first one you come on is electric. We are plugged into the mains here, so that's why that's showing the electric mains. Okay, you can, if you're off grid, choose to use gas. Now that gas beeping like that is warning, saying there's a problem. Well, we know there's a problem because there's no gas attached at the moment. You also have the option of using the car battery when you're traveling. Let's just put that on. Let's get rid of that noise. Now, if you have the 13-pin adapter system, if the fridge is already cold, it will maintain the temperature whilst travelling. However, it will not cool it down from a standing start, so to speak, so you would need to make sure the fridge is cold already. Talking of fridge cold, right, there's your temperature, the thermometer sign there. Press that to choose how cold you want the fridge. Okay. Right, above the fridge there is a wardrobe, a nice size wardrobe. In there is the Aldi heating fluid. That's the main header tank for the fluid. Shouldn't have to worry about this in any way, shape or form. Every time you have your van serviced, we do check the glycol level. The mix is 50% glycol, 50% water. Don't worry that when the system's cold that it shows just above minimum. That's okay. If it's showing maximum before you even turn the heating on, because the liquid does expand, there may be a small risk of overflowing. It doesn't overflow into the van, it does flow outside. Okay, moving on. So that's sort of the kitchen area. Come through towards the bedroom, you will find on the right hand side, as you're moving, a nice large shower with a surprisingly good shower. I have to say they are very good in the caravans these days. It does have obviously a splash screen. It comes across and locks into place, but when travelling this needs to be clipped in. On the other side, directly opposite the shower, you have the toilet area and washroom. Nice sink. You have a heated towel rail that works through like the heating system, the Aldi system. If you find that it's hot at the bottom and cooler at the top, you can bleed it like a normal radiator at home. Okay. Right, here we have the Thetford Toilet. I was saying earlier on, just there, if that light comes on, a light comes on there, that means your toilet cassette is full and requires emptying. Okay. Bathroom cabinets, and then we head on towards the bedroom. In the 574, it's got 2 single beds, set of drawers in the middle, and lots of cupboard space all the way around. Also has a plug socket and TV point for an aerial point there, so you can have a TV bracket put on should you wish to do so. This caravan also comes with a solid door slide across for privacy, so now in your own little bedroom, if you have people with you, they are able to use the bathroom facilities without interrupting you in any way, shape or form. Again, there is a strap on here that needs to be, when travelling, that needs to be on. You see this door, that's actually the toilet door, which is now I've put across, and it closes off the lounge area. So that's a double bonus. So again, if you don't have anyone else here, you could just close that door and you have an ensuite. Okay, I think that's just about it. Any questions, by all means do please give us a call here at Wiltshire Caravans on 01373 752 100. Contact us obviously on email, but we are always here to help. Okay, thank you. Goodbye.